Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is the horoscope for Virgo. If Virgo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Virgo, tonight we have the Hanged Man, which I know we'll see it and we think, oh my gosh, what's going to go wrong now? you know. But I look at the Hanged Man and I think, yes, this is awesome. It is a time of letting go of old things. It is a time of kind of, those things that we keep around that do not serve us well, those behaviors, those old conflicts, the outmoded beliefs or whatever it is, right? That Hanged Man energy comes around and we get to make the decision. No longer will I carry this with me. No longer will I partake, right? Now, as opposed to like the Death card or maybe even the Tower card, where there's not much of a choice. The thing is done, right? The Hanged Man is all about kind of making some sacrifices, right? Cleaning out the closets. And for me, and as probably you are thinking too, Virgo, yes, we all love a good decluttering. All right, let's take a look here. Let's see what's going on. So we have the number 821. I see that immediately. 821, 821. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. All right, so this totally made me think of, now we have a goat right here, and you can even see they have the little goatee right there. Okay, here's the head, here's the body, the tail, the leg, and a person is grabbing them by the foot. Okay, so this immediately, the saying, right? They got your goat or whatever. And so it is somebody who has gotten the better of you, usually just to annoy you, right? Like they're just messing with you. And so I'm looking at this and I'm feeling like, yeah, you have somebody in your life who I think probably you're pretty close with, okay? You feel comfortable enough to joke around with them. You probably kind of, there's a little bit of back and forth. I think that you're both people who have probably pretty good humor. And so I think that, there's like it is a big formation. So I feel like there's a lot of emphasis about maybe your attraction to this person. Maybe it's romantic. Maybe it is somebody that is like a family member that you just really love being around, right? It could even be like one of your kids. You're just really close. You have a good rapport. You're very jokey. Maybe you do some pranks or whatever it is. But I feel like this is a highlighted connection that you have in this life cycle. This is somebody that feels like a soulmate, okay? And I just feel that now we have a koi fish right next to them. So I keep next to you, right? No, this would be them. They got you by the foot, right? But the koi over here. So I feel like it's almost kind of this blessing. There's this blessing. The koi represents longevity, prosperity, good fortune, and really having kind of an ease in life. Okay, so I'm guessing that this person in your life, not a Virgo. They're not as wound up as we are. But I think a very chill kind of vibe altogether. And you know, and I think that really there must be something going on where I almost wonder if you're living together. Maybe they've now I'm in this mode of thinking that maybe this is your kid, but maybe it's somebody else. Maybe it's a family member, a friend. It could have been an ex and you're getting back together with them, but I do feel like this is a situation where as adults, right? You're an adult, they're an adult. We're not talking about a young child so much, but yeah, there's kind of this harmony in the household because there's a lot of laughing and joking, and I feel like kind of there's a partnership here. You know, it's almost kind of like you two against the world at times. And I feel like when they are around, there is an ease that you feel and an ease that they feel. You know, almost like anywhere else that they go, there is just kind of, it doesn't all make sense. And I don't think it's so much about, I feel like they're an independent person, they're a capable person, but there's just something about going away from the dynamic that you have that really, both of you just feel like there's something major missing from your life. And so I see that there is this situation here where, yeah, you're very close. You're together, you're close. It all kind of makes sense for you two. And you know, I mean, maybe this, like I'm saying, I feel like it's almost like an adult child because there is kind of this almost judgment, right? And it is kind of a jokey thing, or people put it down or whatever. You never leave the home and you stay with your parents until, you know, you're much older, or maybe you never do. You just kind of live together, and, or they leave and then they, you know, they see the world and they come back and you just end up staying together, living together. Maybe they end up taking care of you or whatever it is. And I feel like instead of this being kind of a source of a little bit of embarrassment for them, no, I think that this is kind of like, it feels natural. It feels wonderful to live in a home where there are more than one generation, right? That, you know, maybe even they get married and you live with them and their kids, and, you know, and I think that this is something that, well, I'm in the Western world, right? I'm in the United States. So, you know, for one reason or another, this isn't as talked about, or I think it's really common, obviously, but I feel like there's just a kind of almost stigma, right? Where a lot of the rest of the world, it's super normal to have generations of family living together. So, you know, we could go on like a long talk about what the heck is going on with American culture. But I feel like this is just, it feels right. It feels right. And I think that, you know, it leads into this place where you can realize your dreams because you're feeling secure and you're foundational, right? In that earth energy, in the disc energy, that is our home life, our career, our, you know, our hobbies and passions in our physical world. But I feel like in this situation, yeah, your home life feels solid, right? And so it is a good place stand firmly and be able to dream and dream larger, and to feel a sense of ease and wellness, and and hopefully, longevity, God willing, right? And so now we're looking over here, and I'm just gonna keep going. I love the feeling of a tight family, like a family that really, I don't know. I guess because I did not really grow up with that, and now I kind of am cultivating that in my own, in my own life with my daughter and my husband. When I see people who are in situations where they are close with their kids or their significant other or their parents or, whoever, I don't know. I feel a little sentimentality, I guess. And so I'm happy to see that in this reading here. I also like to see that you can joke with each other. That's so important. We need people like that in our lives, Virgo. As solar Virgos, we can be a little too serious at times, I think. So we have Mercury or Hermes right here, and that makes sense that they would be showing up because, right, we are ruled by Mercury, and we are pretty mercurial people, I would say, us Virgos. But I do see lifting up and holding, you can see right there, holding the Ace of Cups, the Grail, okay? Now we have another person standing over here who is holding their arm up. They're holding a sword, okay? Now we have another person here who is sitting and almost kind of in this beautiful robe, wearing some kind of hat or headdress or something, and holding what looks to be, well, I almost imagine it's kind of like a bottle, like an oil lamp, right? And you can see almost kind of like the little genie or djinn coming out of it. Okay, so if you're not familiar, this is the story of you find the lamp and you rub it, and then the genie comes out and grants you 3 wishes. Okay, so now we have the cup, right? The Grail, the sword, and we have the wish. So the cup represents our emotional factors, right? The sacred waters of emotionality, of creativity, of life bringing, of animation, and sustenance, right? Sustenance. And the sword represents the airy quality, which is the mental, logical creativity, problem solving, all these kinds of things, a sharp mind, okay? And for those, wishes to be granted, to be manifest, I think it's so important that we figure out a way to mingle that emotional water held in that vessel, that Grail. We are the Grail, right? Ultimately. And mingling it with that sharp mind. So I feel like this is partially about mastering the emotions to some degree, learning to control our reactions, our coping mechanisms. This is where that Hanged Man comes in. And I think this is one of our big struggles, right? Us as Virgos, both August and September Virgos. We feel really big feelings, right? We feel deeply. We feel deeply. We feel deeply. And we're not really good at cramming our feelings, our reactions, our impulses down. We're not really good at hiding how we feel. I hear this all the time from my husband. My facial expressions give me away so much. It's ridiculous. And I try really hard to contain it. I really do. And, you know, shout out to my fellow neurodivergent people out here. You know, I don't know that we're all affected in this way, but I just have a real hard time hiding exactly how I feel. And so, you know, that's not a bad thing necessarily, right? It's not. Now, if you're playing poker, it might be a bad thing. But if you're a person trying to live an authentic life to some degree, yeah, right? That's pretty okay. But we also have to learn, right, to not just go wild on people. We have to learn to take care of the people around us, to honor thy neighbor, right? And also honoring ourselves through really being able to kind of reel it in sometimes. Now, I'm not saying always, you know, just let people run you or walk all over you or whatever. That's not the message here. But the message is sometimes we got to tone it down. Sometimes we need to kind of just tuck it away for a moment to process what is going on here. And I feel like through that work, you gain such strength within your own existence. The way that you decide to, well, listen, okay, here, we have all been in a situation where, you know, you've been cut off. Right? You're driving, you're late for work, you get cut off. It causes a minor fiasco in your life for just a moment. You're angry. How dare they? How dare you? Can you believe the way that this person is driving? What entitlement. They weren't even paying attention. What are they doing? You know? And anger. Well, you end up, right, pulling into the parking lot. And guess what? You're parked right next to them. And you are ready to let them know what the heck is going on, right? How you feel. And listen, that can lead to all kinds of situations when we get confrontational like that, right? I don't know what it is about us Virgos, but we will not be treated like a punk, right? You're not gonna get one over on me. You're not gonna underestimate me. You're not gonna mistake my kindness for weakness. I mean, that's really the vibe with us Virgos, I think. But here's the deal. There's a lot of power in letting things go. There's a lot of power in saying, yeah, that was messed up, and yeah, that person really needs to start making some better choices, right? Being a little more safe. But you know what? I'm not going to ruin my day over it. You know what? I'm not going to see what happens if I go over there and say something. I'm going to let it go. And you know what? I might even bless them on the way. God bless you. You know, I hope that everything goes good for you today. I hope you get home safely. I hope everything works out in your favor. Okay? And there's a lot of power in that. Letting go of those old coping mechanisms. Letting go of that need to feel like we're in control. You know, and a lot of that, it comes through feeling angry and doing something about it. And hey, I'm the tough guy of my life. I'm the get her done of my life. I am the one that's going to make things happen. I'm going to make sure everybody is on, you know, the same page, hearing me, listening to me, knowing what's up, right? Gosh, how tiring is that? How tired am I just even talking about? I mean, it is. And I too struggle with this feeling. Even in my comment section here. Let me tell you, sometimes people just say the wildest stuff. you know, and it's like the worst too, because it's like nice, but also kind of like underhanded, right? And woo! Do I want to go wild on these people sometimes? Yeah, but I can't because I don't, like, why? Right? What is it going to do if I get on the internet and argue with some person who, you know, saw my thing, they didn't like something I said, or they don't like the way I do stuff, they don't like my set, they don't, you know what I mean? They don't like the way I read. That's fine. That's fine. And, you know, whatever, right? I could spend all day long reading positive stuff, and that one thing, it really, you know, it just, but when we learn to just let it go, when I say to myself, dang, that person's got a lot of time on their hands here. Dang, that person, that sucks that you're out here in the world, you know, you have limited hours of your day, and here you are trolling the internet, looking for places that you can be mean to people. That sucks for you. Absolutely. I wouldn't want to be that. I mean, you know, we've all been kids. I'm sure when I was younger, well, I know I was. When I was younger, I wasn't nice on the internet all the time. You know, I go out of my way not to fight with people now. Not to argue, try not to ever say anything that would be, you know, hurtful or mean or whatever. Because, like, why? You know, why? I want everybody to have a good day. I want to have a good day. I want you to have a good day. You know what I'm saying? So when we give up, when we decide, and it is, we decide. Because it's not just going to stop. You're not going to stop having these reactions. But when we decide to lay it down, put it down. I don't need to be tough. I don't need to get the last word. I don't need to be right. I don't need to react at all. Ooh, powerful. It's powerful. Absolutely. And I see you in this place where you are understanding that the way you're going to get to that genie, to those wishes, to the life that you envision for yourself, it is about letting go of some of this old, dusty, outmoded stuff that we think, oh, it protects me. Keeps me from, you know, it keeps me from having to whatever. I don't even know, right? If I don't stick up for myself and I don't argue with these people, then they're going to think they can walk all over me, right? No, not really. Not really. Don't engage. Most of the time people will forget in like a few moments, a few clicks. You know, they're on to the next thing. They're out there cutting off the next person. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, there's power in letting it go. And that's why I love this card, because it reminds me, it's time to let some stuff go, right? Okay, let's see. We're going to do 3 of our oracle cards. These are from, they're called the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, and we're just going to do these. We have originality, lust, and I'm going to do one from a different section. Independence. Ooh. You are living the dream. Originality, lust, independence. Well, we know as a Virgo, you are always an independent person, of course. Also original, very original. But here's the thing. I feel like there's a movement towards maybe really, it almost feels like you are making a decision to end a friendship, maybe. Maybe a relationship. I feel like it's somebody in your life who, yeah, there's a lot of love, a lot of history. But I feel like this is somebody who they're determined to always see you as you were when you were young, right? Maybe young, a little out of control, emotive, maybe, you know, angry. This is the vibe I keep. Just angry, in conflict, feeling, you know, like you have to just kind of dominate the situation and all of this. And I feel like this person, very similar in a lot of ways, but they refuse to see that you've evolved as a being. That maybe that's not the energy that you like to dwell in. You've changed your life in a lot of ways. And kind of being around them, I think, is kind of the way that your discussions go, your conversations go, is like gassing each other up to be mad about something that is super frivolous, right? Or even like, you know, say you're married or you're in a relationship, right? It's involved, it's ongoing. You know, it's not like something where you're breaking up on and off or whatever. It's like a long-term relationship. And yeah, you have your ups and downs, but you've been really kind of very open and transparent about your personal, you know, conflicts and situations and triumphs and whatever with your partner. And you've been open about this with this friend. Okay, so they know kind of the ins and outs of your private life to some degree, right? And when you get to talking to them, it's like they're always like trying to gas you up to leave this relationship, or they're always like diminishing the good parts of it, or you know, just like kind of, oh, you know, you think something might be a little weird, but it's not really a big deal. And here this friend is like, oh, they're cheating. Obviously, they don't respect you and this and that. And it gets in your head. And it gets in your head. And you're starting to realize, and I think that you've already known, but you're starting to realize that this is a person who just likes discord. They love to bring in the chaos. Right? For whatever reason, and it's probably because they're lacking their own personal life or anyways, development of self and whatever. They're very focused on other people's doings, and they're very focused on causing disruptions, and they're very focused on kind of spreading this kind of negativity. And you can only handle so much of that, you know. Of course, we're responsible for ourselves and what we decide to internalize and what we decide to, you know, accept as possibility or reality or whatever. But we also have to be mindful about the people that we spend our time with. And I could see you getting into this place where, yeah, it's more like I'd rather have 0 friends than have friends that are, yeah, adding to the pain in my life, creating these situations or these energies that are distractive, that get me into my emotions, that make me feel, you know, pretty angry. And again, it's not their responsibility, right? They're not doing this to you. But if you choose to engage with somebody like that, it's always going to be hard. It's always going to be some drama. And I think that you're over that. I think it's really, You know, you have a lustfulness for life. You have a lustfulness for creating, for exploring, you know, the vast unknown of getting further and further into your spiritual work and just finding some peace, right? So that, yeah, you can create, so that you can be innovative, so that you can live a life that is focused on something that feels meaningful rather than living in this toil of a ongoing soap opera, right? There's no resolution there. There never will be, because once one situation is done, you're on to the next, okay? And so I feel like, yeah, this is a good move to be at least making some space, not seeing this person as much, not talking to them as much, and maybe actually just going non-contact, right? Now, we have a person standing here who is praying. They're also holding a bird, okay? So I do feel like there's a lot of messaging coming through to you from the divine, maybe from a person who has transitioned already, they've passed away. But I feel like it's kind of this moment in your life where you're asking for guidance, you're asking for strength and for support. And this maybe is somebody who you're really close to. Mom, grandma, dad, grandpa, uncle, auntie, best friend, whoever it is, right? Somebody very close to you, somebody who you respect and miss greatly. So I see you talking to them a lot, right? In your prayers, before you go to bed, when things are difficult, when things are good. I'm getting this picture of them sitting at a kitchen table, drinking coffee, and I feel like there's just this like, I wish we had more mornings together. I wish that we could just sit and chit chat, because that's all I need, really. That's all I need in my life, is to have that place, that space to be with my person, to be with this, you know, parental figure, this caretaker, this role model, this beloved. And so, you know, when we start to feel like this, I think it's important for us to really, employ some of our communication techniques, and that is maybe, the prayer, but also maybe writing a letter to them, maybe creating an altar for them, maybe putting up a really beautiful picture of them in your kitchen where you sit and you have your tea, or maybe planting a tree for them that you can look out the window every morning and you look and you see and you think, oh, I miss Nona so much, you know. I feel her, she's here, but I wish, you know, it was that we could sit and talk and all of this, but you are honoring them. And through that process of honoring, I feel like it fills your heart up, okay? And there is a sense of ease here. And so I want to go ahead. We're going to look at our gratitude cards over here. These are from Purple Canyon. I'm going to flip through and stop where it feels right. It says, Lunar Rhythms. I am grateful for cycles and seasons, like the waxing and waning phases of the moon, the patterns and rhythms of my life offer the comfort of familiarity with the newness of change. They offer the comfort of familiarity with the newness of change. Practice. What seasons of life have you enjoyed the most? Give thanks for the cycles of time and nature that bring those seasons back to you. All right. Okay, so Virgo, 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 I want to tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And oh my gosh, it's almost birthday season for us. Or is it? I don't know. I guess it must be. What's the day? It's the 23rd. We're in Virgo season. Woo! So happy birthday to you if you've had your birthday. If you're going to be having a birthday. I know my birthday is coming up, I think. I don't know. People seem to be reminding me that it is and that I need to figure out what I want to do for my birthday. But yeah, it's that time of year, Virgo. Also, if you want to leave a comment, please go ahead and do that. I love hearing from everybody. And if you're new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comment section. Yeah, I don't know. I just can't believe that this year has gone by so fast. The trees are starting to change a little bit here. It's already like I see some yellow in the trees outside of my kitchen. I was looking at it this morning, and I thought, wow, that light is really pretty on the tree there. And I looked closer and I said, they're yellow. They're turning yellow. It's not the light. It's the yellow. It's the yellow leaves. Oh my goodness. So it just, yeah, it's wild how fast time goes by. And the older you get, man, it just, you know, everybody can tell you that. And then when you experience it, it's kind of like, my goodness. I remember when summer felt like 1,000 years. Like it was the longest, most wonderful reprieve from life ever. And now it's like, I swear, it was spring like 2 days ago. So I don't know. It's crazy. All right, Virgo, I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk real soon. Good night, good night, good night.